Hello, welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the alias command. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I'm already here in my terminal here. So I'm just going to type in alias. So the alias command allows you to define whatever command that you would like. So before I show you how we can maneuver the alias command, I'm just going to hit enter first, so I can go ahead and show you the different alias on the computer in my terminal. So after I hit enter, you can see here the different alias that's already assigned and predefined in my environment here. So if we look at the alias on this line here, so the command ll equals ls list. So that's just like saying if we were just to type out ls list. So as you can see, that's basically the same thing that we see here. So if I hit enter, then I can see everything in the long list of my home directory in my environment, right? So let me go ahead and type in ll, which is what we see up here, right? So instead of copying and saying ls-l, we can just type in ll and it does the same thing. Alright, so I'm going to actually create an alias using the clear command. So let me just go ahead and input some text here. So I'm gonna get some error messages here because these are not real commands. Okay, fill my screen up here. Fill it up. Okay. So as we know, the clear command basically clears the screen, right? So if I hit clear, it's going to clear my screen there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing again. I'm going to input text, right? And right now, if I hit C, I get command not found. So let's go ahead and create that alias. All right, so the syntax for the alias command to create one is alias, and then my new command, I'm gonna name it the letter C, and then obviously we already talked about it, but we're gonna do the clear command. So this is the alias command syntax. This is the new command that I want copied. This basically just going to do the same thing as clear, but now in my environment I'll be able to use the C letter. And then we just saw here when we used the letter C, we got no command that was found, but now we created our alias. Let's hit the letter C, let's hit enter, and now it operates just like the clear command. And if we do alias, we'll see right here our new alias, C clear. All right, so the thing about alias as well is that it does not by default save into your environment here. So let me show you what I mean. So we hit alias, as we talked about, we see this alias here, C equals clear, which we already demonstrated and went over. So, but if I restart my machine here, let's see what happens after I reboot our machine. Okay, so the machine is about to go through a reboot here, and now we open in a brand new terminal here. I'm gonna hit alias, and then now our alias that we had is basically gone. So that's what I mean by default. The alias does not save into your environment and does not persist across a reboot. However, there is a way that we can save an alias to appear across a reboot. And to do that, all we need to do is basically save the alias in a file called the .bashrc. And so we're just going to go here to the end of the line. We in Vim, so I'm just going to hit the letter A to enter insert mode. So I'm going to do alias and then C equals clear like last time. I'm going to hit escape, get back to command mode. I'm going to save it here. WQ exclamation point, enter. Now that we're here, if I hit C, it still should not work yet, because even though we created our alias in the bashrc document, we did not create our alias outside the bashrc. So it has nothing to look at. So we'll just go with alias again, C equals clear, we enter, and then now if I hit C, it should work. So I hit C and then it works. Let's test it out. Looking at alias, it's there. Now all we need to do is make it go ahead and reboot the system. So let's reboot and let's see if it works. Okay, now that we open up our terminal, let's see if our alias is still here. Yep, our alias is still here, and that's because we added this alias to the .bashrc file. So when the system boots, it reads the bashrc file before it actually starts a new environment. So that's pretty much the end of today's lesson. I appreciate you for watching. We got more lab tutorial Linux videos to come. So hope you learned something about alias today.